It rolled a little bit. That wet ground's helping us. Yeah, we got that there. That'd be perfect.
Hey, show me the pot.
Yeah, it'll go on now. Front ones are stuck. Front ones are stuck.
Get your picture made in front of it, we'll take it.
Ain't no big more than that, I mean. They said,
I reckon we'll see
that car there, take it.
60, 10 or something like that on the weight limit. That's a community, it's just a town, but how's the best way there? How's the best way?
That's where you come?
Yeah, but we want some back roads. Where'd your brother go?
They might have them or key. Yeah.
Bill?
We drug it out. The tag's actually laying in the seat on the floor here. I'll grab it here in a second, but it's a 3-speed, factory 3-speed on the floor, 318. It's not a rally car, but it has rally gauges and a factory rear defroster. That's what he ordered the car with. Everything else is basically bare bones. '84. So 35 years now. Pretty impressive. That's the worst damage to it right there. And then the passenger fender has a spot in it, but it's all right. I mean, for what it is, it's still a Challenger. And it has a really cool story. Definitely a really cool story. It's a one-owner car. His cousin bought it new, and then he had to move off to go do some work. I think he was a school teacher. He said he taught all over the place. And then what happened was he actually passed away before he could come back and get the car, and it just sat there ever since. It's straight besides the dents. Now, unfortunately, I am under the assumption that the engine is stuck on this car. Tried to turn the fan, would not move. That was back whenever we actually picked the car up. Haven't tried it since, so let's take a quick walk around of the car and I'll show you what we have here. Oh, this is nice. Sorry guys, oh, there's a wasp. Like I said, it's been sitting here for about 6 months out in the field. Oh man, I've made them mad. Yeah. Sorry guys, didn't mean to disrupt you. Oh buddy. Yeah, there's a big one right there. There's their nest. You can see it. Anyway, let's try to just avoid all that. Spider webs up here. Didn't mean to disrupt your home, but I'm just gonna pop the hood up here. Okay, we're good. Alright, what we have here is the most basic Challenger I've ever seen in my life. This is a 318 two-barrel. Never been touched. This car is as original as they come. No power steering, no power brakes, no air conditioning. All it is an alternator. Nothing, absolutely nothing as far as option goes. The only two options that they ordered from the factory. Also, the door is a little bit difficult to open. It's a two-hander right here. The only options we have is a rally gauge cluster, which is odd for a non-rally car. You can see it is a 3-speed, which was factory equipment back then. It was standard. Automatic was an option. And for some reason, a rear window defroster. So, I don't know why, but it only came with, I don't know why they ordered it that way. Rally gauge cluster, rear window defroster, everything else as it came. So it's probably a really pretty blue from the factory. You can kind of see it right here. I'd like to get the trunk open. It's like a light blue metallic. So we're going to try and get the trunk open at one point. I don't have the keys for it, so that's a little bit of a misfortune here. So we'll have to, at some point, you know, rig up a starter so we can actually start the car. And if we want to drive it, I'll have to pull the steering wheel off and then disengage the lock cylinder. So that's not a big deal, just a little extra step that we have to go through. Unless I can find the keys somewhere, but they said they didn't know where it was. So, like I said, very basic and bare bones option. It does have disc brakes in the front, which I think was standard equipment at that point in '73. And the good news, we've got electronic ignition, so it'll be simple to fix if something's wrong with it. I've got a ton of those to make it work, so I've got plenty of these electronic ignition boxes. And well, there's 3-speed wipers. Could you get 2-speed back then in '73? I don't know if you could at that point. I think maybe the 3-speed was standard equipment at that point. I'll have to look. Fender tag, disintegrated, unfortunately, so we don't have one of those. And it's got some rust issues. I know you guys up north are saying, man, you got it lucky, this thing's got 0 rust or whatever. But we've got rust right here where the battery looks like it flipped over. The rear frame rails are pretty much shot. So that's kind of unfortunate, but it is still a Challenger. And it's still a good looking Challenger at that. I just mentioned the fact that this car is pretty much untouched from the factory. You know, there's really not a lot of stuff that they did. Looks like there's been a water pump put on it. And honestly, I don't see anything else that's been changed. I mean, they might have changed some hoses, just did basic maintenance on it. So it might not be that difficult to actually get this thing running since it's all complete and all there. You know, unfortunately, the car sat for a long time, but they took care of it. You know, they started it up every year or so until the gas tank started to leak. So that was unfortunate. So, oh man. Okay, the filter avoided all the peanuts, so that's good. Yep. Let's take this off. Let's see what we got going on under here. That's a vacuum leak. Okay, I'm just going to set this to the side for now. Linkage isn't frozen. There we go. Okay, we'll just take it off. You can see all that. Like something made a nest in there. Good thing that filter was in there though. So, looks like linkage works. Let's see, where's the throttle linkage tool? Try to move that. Not so lucky there. The choke linkage works. I'll have to try and free that up. Yeah, that one's not so good. But that's good that the choke isn't frozen or anything. I don't think anything got down in the carburetor, so we might be okay on that front. And like I said, I believe it was stuck. So I'm gonna pull all the spark plugs out and pour some ATF down there with some Marvel Mystery Oil mixed in. Let it sit for a second, and while I wait for that, I want to drop a battery in here and just see if anything works. You know, if I want to see if like headlights come on, dome light, anything. So let's grab the spark plug socket and we'll start taking stuff out. Something I just thought about. This thing is a manual car, so it probably very well could have been in gear whenever I tried to turn the fan by hand. So knocked it out of gear. It's sitting in neutral right now. I'm gonna try and take this breaker bar on the crank bolt and just see if I can turn it just a little bit. Nope, it's stuck. Couldn't get that lucky. Yeah, the crank bolt just tightened itself up. It can either be really good or really bad, or all three. Still got Champions in it, so it might not have been changed. It might have been changed. Who knows at this point? A little rusty, but still fairly clean. I've got another set of Champions that I'll just stick right back in, so not a big deal. But I do still want to put some ATF and Marvel Mystery Oil down in there, let it soak for a little bit. So this is all the spark plugs on the driver's side. Pulled all the 8, they all look pretty much the same. So just from age and sitting. So yeah, it's just needed to be pulled. I've seen worse run, so I bet they would have ran, but the engine's stuck, so we're just going to go ahead and put some new ones in, or new to the car at least. Just run a little bit in. Just let it sit on top of the cylinder. While we're here, pour in some ATF. And that's a lot, so whatever. Pouring out the cylinder hole, so that's great. Best part about these old cars, a lot of Chryslers specifically, at least I've seen, is that the battery trays are made of tin foil, and when a battery falls over, next thing you know, battery tray's gone. So this is going to be a little tricky. Installed. So, while I'm just gonna wait for those cylinders to soak, I'm just gonna mess around, see if we can get any kind of power to anything. Alright, hold your breath. Okay, nothing exploded. Alright, now that the battery cable's on, I'm gonna get in the car, hit the headlight switch. You guys tell me if it comes on. Hey, come on. Well, heck, son, I tell you what. Wish you'd said something. See if the high beams work. And it's frozen, so not doing that. We got one tail light. No side lights or anything, so better than nothing. Something else I need to do, disconnect the fuel line. So we'll just chop those up real good. We'll do it from the tank side too, from the pump, so it's not pulling anything from the tank that's disgusting. So that's chopped. All right, you're good. And that only took an hour, I guess. Well, unfortunately, seems like we might have something else going on besides the engine being stuck. I tried it one more time and it's been sitting with ATF and Marvel Mystery Oil in each cylinder for at least 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say, at this point. So I'm starting to think that if the engine's not bad, then it possibly could be like a stuck clutch, it could be a stuck flywheel. Something is binding, and I'm not sure what it is. So rather than fool with it out in the field, get covered in ticks and bugs, and that nice little spider right there, can you guys see him? Yeah. Hey, buddy. Yeah, this car's full of them. And it also had a mouse living in the hood. And right up in here where the 2 pieces meet, he had made like a nice little nest, little trailway going on up in these channels. So that was good. I really enjoyed that. Every time I'd open the hood, he'd fall out. So yeah, didn't really feel like doing that anymore. Anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to get up under the car and we're going to attempt to make the flywheel turn. That's a method, you know, because you can't turn it on the bolt, because the bolt, it'll keep loosening if you turn it one way. If you turn it counterclockwise, it'll loosen up, and all I can do is keep tightening it. So I'm worried that I'm going to mess it up if I just keep on turning it up more and more. So I'm just going to try and turn it by the flywheel, and if that doesn't work, this engine is literally the easiest thing to pull out because we have 0 accessories. We've got no power steering to worry about. All it is, I mean, we can literally leave the alternator hooked up, disconnect it from the radiator. So pull the radiator out, disconnect it, motor mounts, and disconnect it from the bell housing. Undo the wiring, heater hoses. This thing will come right out. It's so simple to work on, and that's the good thing about the fact of no options is that there's not a lot of stuff you have to deal with. The fact that it's got the manual transmission makes it that much easier. So if it comes down to it, we will do an engine swap on this thing because it is so simple to do, and I've got a plethora of 318s and 360s to put in it. But we're going to keep trying with this thing. We're not going to give up just yet. Here's the best part about this entire endeavor. Whole car is covered in spiders, even on the bottom side. Didn't know that was possible. Anyway, we're going to take this inspection plate off, see what that flywheel looks like real quick. Last bolt. Let's see what we got. Oh, just kidding, there's one more. Ah. I got excited. Sorry, guys. Fun fact, if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of stuff flying at us. I'm wearing safety glasses right now. Always do that if you're working on something like this. Keep stuff out of your eyes. Save you a lot of time. Alright, last bolt. For real this time. Oh, I forgot the other bolt. Are you kidding me? I forgot to take this other one out. What is wrong with me? I thought I took that one out. No way. Okay. For real this time. Last bolt. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. So there's a rat. There's a rat's nest in here, guys. I don't think that's what's keeping our car from running, but definitely not helping. That's for sure. Okay, well. Now we can... Oh, okay. Yeah, look at this. I'll show you guys what was inside the inspection cover. check this out. Yeah, something's been living in there for quite a while. Clean all that out and stuff our bolts in it so we don't lose anything. Didn't really have any good luck with getting the flywheel to get a grip with a screwdriver, so let's just try and pop this valve cover off and see if it tells us a story. I've already pulled the bolts out. Just tap it with a hammer and see what happens. Doesn't look bad. I mean, I got dirt in it from whenever I just dropped all the stuff in it, but it looks fairly low mileage, to be honest with you. Not a lot of sludge built up. Whoever had it changed the oil at least. That's why I'm so, I don't know, I'm kind of weirded out by it. It's so clean though. Wow. That is very clean. And there's a spider. So unfortunately, from that last clip you saw, I talked about how the engine would not run, it would not turn over, and that is the fate of this poor 318. The rockers did look brand new, but no matter what I tried, it would not come unstuck. So the engine is going to have to come out, unfortunately. And even if we did get it unstuck, if we wanted to keep the engine long term, it would have had to come out anyways. So we need to inspect it, make sure that we're not tearing up anything. So the next video you'll see the engine come out, as well as digging around in the car and seeing what else we can find, any kind of historical facts about the vehicle, and see what we can do about getting the trunk open, figuring out how to unlock the wheels that are stuck from the brakes, and unlocking the steering column. So that's going to be all in the next video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like down below. If you have a question for me, you can leave a comment, or you can send me an email. It'll be at the very end of the video. Send your projects to that email, order your t-shirts and your stickers, and please subscribe. Click that notification button because this video is going to be awesome. This series is going to be great to see this car putting back on the road where it belongs, and doing the proper things that we need to do to make this thing an actual driver. And I hope you guys stick around, enjoy this series, because I'm excited. I've got a pile of parts waiting outside of this car that we're going to tear into in the next video. You'll see it. We're going to really just start to make this thing awesome, and I hope you guys enjoy it just as much as I have. So thank you guys for sticking around. Appreciate everything you've done for me, and I'll see you in the next one. And there it is. You see that? There's the build sheet, covered in spiders.